then has some awards to give out. So
Yeah, I just want to reiterate how proud I am. Being able to coach girls, for starters, was a new experience for me. I got the call like in March, and thought it'd be a good opportunity. I told my roommates about it. They just kind of laughed at me. But I can tell you right now, I've coached football for 4 years in different high school capacities. I learned more coaching your daughters than I did in any other role. It really taught me a lot of things that are going to be lifelong enhancers. But
Don't get married.
I was just gonna say something quick about each of your daughters, and then while I do, just have them come up and then we'll go from there. So first one, Maggie. One really cool thing that I found about Maggie was she's very positive, and she just wants to get to know you. And sometimes that was a little challenging, trying to practice. And I told her tonight she's got like 1,000 conversation starters. But it was really awesome to have her on team, have her be able to contribute as well. And she just gave me 110% every single time she went out there, and that's always appreciated. And then, win or lose, it was still that same, positive spirit coming off the field. So I really appreciate that. Recognize her for most inspirational. We'll go with her sister, Caitlin. Oh, I gave her two. Whoops. Caitlin was also pretty cool to have on the team. One thing that really stuck out to me was the last game, and it happened all season. I had the opportunity to kind of recognize that and stuff, but the last game, Grace actually got tripped up. She actually got tripped up, and we had like a little bit of a timeout. First thing Caitlin said was, how can I get the girls back for doing that? So that's pretty cool to be able to have a tough player or whatnot. So that was good. And again, I'll say about all the girls really, they all have a very positive attitude and just like a warm spirit about them. When I played football, if you lost, it was like you didn't talk to your parents for a week. And this was just like, hey, we lost, and we're going to learn from what mistakes that we made, and it was just always that try-hard spirit that was really nice to have. So we made sure to recognize her for being the toughest person. Shalom. I said a few times to Shalom that her name, I went to APU, so we're surrounded by the word Shalom a lot out there by our president, and I taught her the meaning of her name, which is peace, and told her sometimes she exemplifies the opposite of but again, real try-hard attitude. When she first came in, I don't think she knew anything about football, and by the end, I wasn't having to remind her about anything. It was just like she was starting to pick it up, and very fast learner, very fast as well. So I wanted to recognize her for being most improved throughout the season. All right, the girls will know her by her nickname, but Chatterbox.
I win.
Everyone else will know as well. Again, another person that just try again. There are a few times I think that when you're first learning football, especially when you've never been around it, it's easy to get discouraged. And I noticed a lot of time Melanie would take the time to try to figure out what she did wrong, and she asked a lot of questions, which is good at times. But she asked a lot of questions and made sure she was doing things right, and she was always trying to make sure that she was doing the right thing, and she didn't want to disappoint. And that was really nice to be around. So just because of her talking to the other teams and stuff, we wanted to say that she had the best trash talking throughout the season. So. Renee.
Yeah.
she was this like the silent killer. You look at her and you don't think like, oh man, she's gonna be intense, but there were a few times I saw fear in the other girl's eyes just blow up as she came towards them. Somebody that you could always just rely on, especially on defense, to be able to pull flags, and on offense, she was the one snapping the ball every single time, and that's not an easy job, especially when you haven't played football before. But she picked it up really quickly, and she's very consistent, and definitely helped out, every part of, offense, defense, and just willing to go out there and compete every single time. So wanted to recognize her for best defense, most flags pulled. So.
What does that mean?
Grace. So when I first started, I think the most difficult thing to find out, especially if you're coaching boys or girls, is who can throw the ball. Because for some reason there's never enough people who can throw the ball. Originally she came out, I think she came out a couple days after we had our first practice. She threw the ball and it was just like, oh yes, answer to prayer. And she did a good job, throughout the season, and I felt like I could coach her almost like I would, a high school quarterback, a high school boy, because she picked up on stuff really easy. Not that you're a boy, but she picked up really easily on stuff, and she's just a team contributor, and she made a lot of smart decisions as well, and just really innovative out there, and a good encourager as well. She really made sure everybody else learned from their mistakes as well. So we got her for the best arm for the amount of times my hands hurt. Superstar. I'm really upset that I did not figure out how fast she was until like the last two games. If you guys were at the Barnhart game, you saw her just like fly around the edge, and the girls were just like stuck. They didn't know what to do. Probably the fastest player I've ever seen at this age and this level. I mean, it was incredible. But again, a real competitor, somebody who just wanted to always get better. When we first started, I taught them 3 different routes. 2 were pretty short routes, and then 1 was just a deep fade all the way to the end zone. And every single time the girls would be like, oh, can I run those short ones? And she was always the one that was like, let me run that long one, I'm going to get it. And by the end, it was every single time throwing the ball up, just catching it. And real competitor, always getting better. So recognize her for being Speedy Gonzalez. Last but not least, Cambridge. Another like silent but certainly deadly person on the football field. I was surprised, once we got the season started, how fast she like picked up football. At the beginning of the season, I think all the girls were kind of confused by the game, and I didn't really help either, because I was trying to use terminology I use with high school kids who played football since they were 5. But once we started breaking it down, she caught on really quick. Again, if you'd been in any of those games, there was one game she bobbled the ball like 3 or 4 times with my heart jump, and then just like brought it right in, and then it was just like every time we threw the ball up, she was catching the ball. Again, real competitor. She was the one on the team that really didn't talk a lot, and that was nice too to have. And she would, you would talk to her and she would just listen and take it all in and then apply it, and that was really nice. Real competitor. So I want to make sure that she got recognized for being the MVP, because she was solid.
That I wanted to give every season, but I finally got it together to give it, and so my final award goes to the all-time best teen mom ever in the world award to Mrs. Nancy Wu. Every single sport, Mrs. Wu takes care of all. Thank you so much. Yeah, Coach is going to get court-martialed if he doesn't get back where he has to be by 9 p.m. I believe, right? So guys, hug your coach goodbye, wave goodbye to him.
Let's go.
Good. All right, forward. Mrs. McFowle, thank you so much for Mrs. McFowle for all the